In this video, I go over the Hot Mod V2 by Legendary Tones. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and if you went ahead and watched my show yesterday, then you already know that one of the things that I got in the mail was the Hot Mod V2. So what this does, it replaces the V2 12AX7 in your JCM800. Apparently, it seems like it's not going to work with the reissues. So you'd have to have an old model, and I happen to have a 1987 JCM800. So one thing you'll notice is there are two 12AX7s. So it's going to be hugely crazy. And, why am I not able to take this out now? Okay, there it is. So this one has two JJs, on there, along with a toggle switch on the side. So that way you basically leave this permanently in there, and it's either bypass or just uses one 12AX7, or you can toggle it up to the 12 o'clock mark, and both of them are activated. So with this version, because it actually has the little clip on the side, that's where you get your ground from. So you put it in the slot and then you just tighten that, and that's how you get your ground. The older version actually had a ground that came from here, and you just attach it to the chassis of your head. So I went ahead earlier today and swapped it out, and it is absolutely amazing. So for any of you guys that actually have an early JCM 800, I actually have a 2204, which is the 50 watt. With this, it is brutal. It is literally, and if you guys have been watching my YouTube channel for a few years, then you know the JCM 800 was one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had. So much so that I had to actually reach out to guys that I grew up with, mainly Joe Affey from Maximum Penalty in Brooklyn. And I'm like, dude, talk to me. And he's like, don't freak out. Go ahead and throw an overdrive. He suggested the Maxon OD808 along with the Fortin 33. And at the time I had them both. So I used it and it's great. But one thing that I found that was fairly troubling is, you know, for all of the hype that the JCM 800 gets, I'm pretty convinced that everyone records with it and they play around with the EQ, which is great in a recording, but not great when you're at home and you're just like, man, what happened to the gain? So the JCM 800, unfortunately, doesn't have that brutal gain stage that amps like, you know, even solid state amps like Randall's, even the Diablo, like all of these modern tube amps, they're designed, especially if it's something like the Diablo or the Randall Satan, or even the Mesa Rectifier, like they're designed for heavy playing, heavy chugging, heavy music, just metal from so many various different genres. Whereas the Marshall JCM was kind of at that cusp of being brutal and then kind of missed the mark. So much so that they basically had variants of the JCM 800, which is why you, for the most part, want to find a 2203, which is the 100 watt, or the 2204, which is the 50 watt, because the 2205, for me, and I know guys like Jason Frankhauser are like, dude, you're crazy. The 2205, any of those variants, the 2210, I don't like them. I feel like, you know, that's when they started to add diodes as a clip to create the gain, as opposed to it just being powered mainly by tubes. This actually helps it in adding an extra 12 AX7 where the gain stage runs. So if one is good, two is better. So I'm going to go ahead and play out of my JCM800. I'm going to crank the gain. I'm going to play it straight through. Then I'm going to add two things. One is my Boss Super Overdrive, which is the SD1, which is the overdrive that pushes the gain stage of the JCM800, along with my Pepper's Dirty Tree, which is my boost. Then I'll go ahead and swap it, add this puppy in, and then I'll do this exact same thing. I'll go ahead and play it straight through so you can hear the greater amount of gain that it's pushing. Then I'll tack on the Super Overdrive along with the Pepper's Dirty Tree, so you get to hear how brutal it is with this guy. So stay tuned. Let me go jam on this puppy. All right, listen. So again, when I tell you that the JCM800 was such a huge disappointment, keep in mind that I grew up with friends using the JCM800, and it was just one of those things that I was just like, son, I'm going to crush it. No, you definitely need a lot of help. So this is with the gain at max, along with the fact that all the tubes have been replaced. They are literally, I don't know, an hour old as far as cumulatively me playing through them, because I have so many different amps. I don't really just run too much time on each amp. But this will give you an idea of why I have videos where I say, do not get the JCM800. Get it. It's great. I mean, it's an incredible amp. Again, it just needs help, just like the Mesa does. Everything needs a little help. This just needs a little more. So, all right. So bear with me. This is again at max. Okay, so that is the gain at max. Keep in mind that this amp was built in 1987. That was kind of the style. It was great for rock. It was great for the era. And then guys like, you know, the guys from Slayer, Jeff and Kerry, both kind of killed it, but they added to their JCM800s. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on my SD1 and my Pepper's Dirty Tree, because I'm literally plugged in straight to the amp. That way no one says, what happened is your pedals aren't even bypassed. Yeah, they are. Dude, it's just one cable. All right, be right back. All right, boys and girls. So the only thing I did differently is, because when you're using the JCM straight, you have to increase more of the presence and lower some of the mid, just so it can kind of sound chunky. So now what I've done is I've lowered the presence to noon. I added more mid and activated both the Boss Super Overdrive along with the Pepper's Dirty Tree, and this is what that sounds like. So, That's what that sounds like. Again, it sounds infinitely better when you are using pedals along with the JCM800. The problem that I kind of run into in general is you want, when you're using a tube amp, to have the gain stage be mainly tube powered. So with that and getting this hot mod, what ends up happening is you don't have one 12AX7, now you have two that basically just crush the tone. So you're able to cut back on the gain a bit. You're able to now use your, whatever overdrive you're using, you can now dial back the drive. That is literally the super overdrive at max. Just so you have an idea that in order for the JCM800 to sound good with an overdrive, you have to have the gain at max and the gain or drive on your overdrive pedal maxed also. Then it sounds fine. But now you're basically taking everything to that edge, and you never, do you ever really get to hear what the head sounds like when ultimately all you're really doing is adding overdrive and masking what the head is missing or lacking? So in this case, now I'll go ahead and swap out the 12AX7 tube that's in there with the Hot Mod V2, and you'll notice a difference with regard to what it sounds like when it's just the amp by itself. The gain is just infinitely just brighter. There's more gain, there's more compression. And when you're playing metal, that's what you want. I don't have long hair, and playing glam metal from 1985. Come on, son. Come on. So I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to go, literally, I have to yank all of it out, turn it around, replace it, and, whatever. It is what it is. It's just a little love that I have to go through right now. So stay with me. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so like I said, now that I actually have the Hot Mod V2 in there, you're going to notice a difference. And same thing, I actually am plugged straight into the front of the JCM800. That way no one says you have your pedals plugged in. I don't. That way you can hear that there is a dramatic difference. And I'm hoping that it actually comes across in the video, but you guys let me know. Of course, at some point, once this is uploaded, I'll listen to it. I actually record and then I play it back on my monitors. To me, it sounds like I can hear the difference. But of course, once it's compressed and YouTube launches it, it changes the tone enough where there's a little issue, but whatever. You'll get the idea. Okay, so there you have it. Hopefully you guys can hear that there is a difference. It's just more gain, and more gain means that I can play around with the knobs, and right out of the gate, it just means that your foundation for your heavy tone is already there. I'm telling you now that it's worth every penny. And I was shocked, when I plugged it in, I was just like, stop, this is awesome. Okay, so this round now, I'm actually gonna, same thing, I'm going to cut back on the presence. I'm going to add more mid, then throw on my Boss Super Overdrive and my Pepper's Dirty Tree. And keep in mind that even if it sounds the same, you're actually in fact hearing more of the tubes gain as opposed to the diodes that are found in the overdrive pedals. So again, just know it's kind of in the ballpark, but I have everything dialed back because I can. But if I want more, there is more on tap. And to me, that is everything. So let me go plug these two pedals in and I'll be right back. Okay, you kiddies. So what I've done is I was able to take the gain and set that to noon, okay? And the overdrive, which I had at max drive, I was able to cut that back to 11. And is that UPS delivering some more stuff? I may have pedals coming right now. What is that? Is that for me? That may be for me. That may be for me. Let's see. Hold on. That may be coming here. Let's see. Or is he going to Chris? No, it's here. Please hold. It wasn't pedals. It was just blinds. Okay, where was I? So, I went over all the details, and this is what it sounds like with everything basically turned at noon or lower than noon. Presence is now at 10 o'clock. So everything gets adjusted, and it just sounds like there's more. And to me, that is everything, especially from a JCM800. What? Dude, this thing is a beast now. Yo, if that thing doesn't translate over, just so you know, I kind of feel that I know what the heck good tone should be. And it's just because I have all these crazy things over here, right? It's just after a while, you're just like, okay, I get it. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. Just know that it sounds absolutely incredible. Just super brutal. Like I said, it's just that much more. And keep in mind that this thing was built 33 years ago. This head is older than guarantee most of you guys. In fact, when I look at my stats for the most part, half of you guys that watch my channel are 30 to 35. So, you know, keep that in mind, that that's a lot of people, and you guys are probably in, or you guys are babies when this thing was made, for the most part, give or take a bit. So again, I cannot stress, if you're looking for a JCM800 and you, just like me, have been hugely disappointed at the fact that it just lacked, and the fact that everyone's like, everybody has to have a JCM800. Snooze fest. You definitely have to work on it. But if you want it to be more tube driven, not even kidding you, I'm going to put a link below. Make sure you click on the link and get yourself one. If you have, like I said, a JCM, it has to be an early JCM800, 2203, which is the 100 watt, or the 2204, which is the 50 watt. And, you know, go to the website, check out what other products he has, and give him a call, you know, and see if he can do anything with the amp that you have. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, there's something wrong with you and your crazy cabeza. So hit the subscribe button, jerk face, and hopefully I made you guys laugh. Hopefully, if you guys are interested in now getting a JCM800, now you know that you can, and that there is a great, you know, plan B or resolution with regard to making your JCM800's gain just sound a complete, like a modern brute fest. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And as usual, I will talk to you guys soon. Still using. So in yesterday's video, when I said that this is without question my new favorite pick, this Bog Street pick, which is the Battle Axe, is just great. It's just great. And then you know what's funny is that oh, my pick is flipping. Got it, son. Still fine. Dude, you have 3 sides. And then the best part, like I said, because there's a hole, you feel your finger on the other side. And because it's contoured in, right, in the center, I don't know if you can necessarily see that. I guess you kind of can, right? Let me see. Can I get it to? You can kind of make out that it's kind of concaved in the center. That is everything. It's absolutely awesome. So, all right, just wanted to add that. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Ciao.